everyone, welcome to Shelf Space. I'm your host, Rodimus13, and today we are reviewing the HG Gundam The Origin MS-05 Zaku 1 Kycilias Forces version. Again, really long name. Anyway, first, let's take a look at the box. So, to start off, we got cool illustration of looks like 1, 2, 3, 4 of these Zaku 1 Kycilias Forces types. All equipped with different weapons, or at least a different kind of loadout. They all have the shield. This one's got the bazooka. This one has the Zaku 1 machine gun. Same here and over here. Almost wonder if these two are the same drawing or something. Nah, they're a little bit different. Gundam The Origin logo. HG Gundam The Origin logo. The Origin logo again. MS-05 Zaku 1 Kycilias Forces. Principality of Zeon mass-produced mobile suit. And then all that again in Japanese. Red Bandai logo. On the side, we got a nice little painted up picture of the Zaku 1 here. Same, another picture over there. Picture of Kycilia, and I think this was a disguise she wore in Gundam The Origin. It's been a little bit since I've watched it. A blurb about Gundam The Origin 4. There is some teeny tiny little text there. You guys can read that if you want. Spoilers, I guess, probably for Gundam The Origin. Anyway. Refocus. There we go. On the other side, we got 018, because this is part of Gundam The Origin line, not the standard HGUC line. Same illustration as before, same text, BandaiHobby.net. Now we got some more painted shots, but this time it's all in action. And you can see it's Bazooka Type A2 for mobile suit. Talks about the various gimmicks, the Heat Hawk, the machine gun, the shield. Shows how the head can move around and the eye can move around, and you can move the shoulders, and you got hands, and you got markings, and you got a bunch of stuff in Japanese. This was back when they were still listing the retail price on it, and so this was originally going for 1,700 yen, so that's about what, 17 bucks give or take. Same stuff as the other side, and yeah. Once again, shout out to Shoki Reviews for selling me this kit. Speaking of the kit, let's actually take a look at it instead of the box. Alright, and here it is. And once again, I gotta say, it looks pretty darn cool. This is the first kit I've built from the HG Gundam The Origin line. And I had heard some good things about it before. But it's one thing to, hear about it, and another thing to actually experience it firsthand. One of the things that was really striking to me was just all this very fine surface detail that is just everywhere on the kit. It is very, very nice looking, especially if you go in with a panel marker like I did and bring out all those details. I think I forgot to do that on his forearm, so sorry for that, folks. Also, sorry if you're having trouble seeing this. This guy is so dark that I'm trying to get all my lights shining on it to actually show it off on the camera, and I'm having some trouble with that. Anyway, enough making excuses for my poor photography. Let's take a look at articulation. So to start off, you got the head is on a ball socket joint, and the neck itself is on a, it's either on a hinge or on a ball socket joint itself. Hinge, I think. So you got quite a bit of movement. You're a little bit restricted by this thing's snoot. Speaking of head, let's go ahead and zoom in on that. One of the neat things about the Kycilias Forces version is that you have this neat little crest thing going on there. Now, if you want to move the mono eye around, you can. And this is fairly standard for Zaku's, if I remember correctly. You got a little thing here that you can move around to move the eye around. Don't know if I can really show it off on camera, especially considering this thing seems to just absorb any and all light. Yeah, it's difficult to move around, but that's okay. If anything, I think it's better that it's a little bit harder to move around, because that means it's not going to flop around all over the place. But let's just take a moment to appreciate the head sculpt on this guy. Pretty cool. I'm probably not going to end up using this version of the head and the end. We'll go more over this later, but he does come with the standard Zaku 1 head. So, arms have a little bit of a butterfly joint built into the shoulder here, and then another one here. So you can actually get the arm to move all the way across the body like that, and that's pretty cool. On this arm in particular, you also can move the arm up like this without really breaking the sculpt, due to some fun jointing here in the shoulder. You got your bicep swivel, a really, really nice double jointed elbow. I mean, look at that. And this actually looks pretty decent even when it's bent like that. Very impressive. No swivel down on this part of the arm, but you do got your basic ball joint hand, which also allows for switching out to the alternative hands. You got the same articulation on this shoulder, but because of this thing, you can't quite move it up as much. Basically, that's about as high as it can go, at least with the way it's built on mine. Though I will say it's cool that the shoulder armor here is jointed to allow that to move. It's just some of the extra jointing in there is interfering with the rest of this, so it doesn't quite work as well as it does on the other arm. The jointing on the waist is very interesting. It's that sort of newer style that I have seen in a few kits where you got a ball joint and then it sort of makes like an L shape or a 7 shape, I guess, and you got another ball joint, so that allows for rotation this way for an ab crunch, and then you also have a little bit of movement this way. You can rotate at the waist, but he does bump into a few things, especially if you got the Heat Hawk equipped here. Speaking of which, let's toss that aside. So that's pretty good. Leg can move up about this far, and then knee is double jointed, but the armor right here keeps it from bending all the way. But you get some nice parts reveal there and separation there with the knee joint. This is like kind of the stuff that you see at on master grades. The foot is on a fairly standard joint that allows for a lot of movement. There is jointing in here for sort of like a toe articulation, but everything is so tight and restricted, it doesn't really do much of anything, so I'm kind of wondering why it's even there. This also has some jointing here in the hips to allow for you to rotate the legs forward, I guess for if you wanted to have them in a pose like this where they're flying through the air going pew 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 or something. Again, that's sort of a master grade style trick, so there's some very, very impressive engineering for a high grade 1/144 scale kit. And it allows for some pretty decent posability. Yeah. So let's take a look at accessories. To start off with, we got the bazooka. Pretty big honking looking thing. This part is removable, and you actually have 2 extra clips, cartridges, cases. I don't know what they would be called for this. Those are mainly for the Zaku 2 version because these can equip onto the arm shield, which this guy doesn't have because he's a Zaku 1. And as you can see, I got the shooting hand already attached to this thing. The scope on this can move around, as can the secondary handle, and even the primary handle can move around a little bit. Let's go ahead, pop that hand off, pop this hand on, and he holds it pretty good. Like, there's no sagging or anything like that. Considering it's a big weapon, I'm very, very impressed with how well it handles it. Next up is the shield, which looks really cool and can equip on the arm here. Let's see if I can remember how to do this without looking at the instructions. And my camera is warning me that I'm running out of time. There you go. And we're back. Okay. Sorry about that, folks. Anyway, so the shield connects onto this little gizzy that connects onto the arm. There's a little ball socket joint there and a little channel along the shield. Technically, you're supposed to use the closed hand on this, but I find that the open hand works just fine. And if you want, you can articulate this a little bit, but I think it works pretty well just stationary, because, I mean, it's just a shield. And I really, really like the look of this thing with the bazooka and the shield. That just looks menacing. I mean, what do you guys think? In fact, that might be the thumbnail for this review. Okay, other accessories. We got the Zaku 1 machine gun, because I do believe it's a different animal than the Zaku 2. You got a rotating scope. There's no stickers on this or anything like that. And a rotating handle. And you can take off this thing. In theory, you're supposed to be able to. That's weird. It's not wanting to come off. Because we have... I must have clipped it too good. Because we have an extra ammo drum, which can go on the back here. The only problem is it doesn't go on very well. It's... At least to me, it feels really loose. And I can't tell if you're supposed to put it up here or like this. And either way, it feels like it would drop at, a drop of a hat or something. But now it's wanting to cooperate with me. Oh, there we go. See? I wasn't lying. That's okay, because for the purpose that I'm going to use this thing for, it's probably not going to have any of that stuff. So, we also have I'm guessing this is a Heat Hawk in storage mode. It has a little peg right there, and that can go right here on the side skirt, or here. Probably can even go back here. You know what? I haven't tried that. Oh, hey. I actually kind of dig how that looks. You also have a fully extended Heat Hawk. And that can just go in a hand like so. And you can go chop, 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 chop. Go, I'm a lumberjack and I'm a... No, Let's see. You also have this thing, which let's go ahead, pop this off. We'll leave the arm on there just because or the hand on there because it makes life easier for me for right now. And that just lets you connect the bazooka to the backpack and make them look really tall. Though it looks a little funny with the hand hanging off of it. But it's nice that it gives you at least weapon storage for the bazooka. What it doesn't give you is any weapon storage for this thing. Which, I mean, I guess maybe that's accurate to the show or something, but I really would have liked to have, you know, a clip or something. I mean, there's an extra port right here. I could put it here or something, anything, but no. Bandai did not see fit to give us storage for that. In addition to all the accessories, you also have a bunch of parts that you don't use for this version of the kit. I'm getting them out right now. I mean, I say a bunch of parts. It's not like we got big chunks of runners left. But as I mentioned before, you got 2 extra ammo clips, magazines, drums, whatever you want to call them. I don't know the actual term, and I'm not in front of my computer to look it up right now, so don't at me. And these are primarily for the Zaku 2, because the Origin version had little ports on the arm shield to hold them, which I think I mentioned earlier, so sorry for repeating myself. You got I think this is a Zaku 2 chest plate, or at least a Zaku 2 chest plate. The regular, oh, you can't see it, the regular Zaku 1 helmet, head, top part. The most of the shoulder for the normal Zaku 1, which I may actually use this because it comes with this neat little armor bit that I really like and I think would work well for the custom that I'm doing. A different collar piece, which I don't know if this is for the regular Zaku 1 or if this is for the Zaku 2. And this is a different connector piece that goes onto the side of the shoulder. You also have different, I think these are little elbow light caps for the arms. Some extra little connector pieces. This right here is actually for a flight stand, but I don't have a spare one right now, so I'm not using it. And some extra vernier thruster bell things. And as pretty much usual, you got a bunch of poly caps that you're not using for anything. But it's never a bad idea to hold on to these because you never know when you might need them. So overall, I love this guy. It was an amazing build. Lots of surprises. I love the articulation and the engineering on this kit. It is phenomenal. I know I come off very positive for just about everything, but believe me, this time I really, really mean it. If you like Universal Century kits, if you like Zaku's, get this guy. Maybe it doesn't have to be maybe it's not the Kycilias Forces version, but I'm betting the regular Zaku 1 is going to be just as awesome. The main difference between this and the other one is you got a different head, and I think the shield might be a little bit different. But yeah, so thank you for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun YouTube stuff. Check the description below for links to my storefront for official shelf space t-shirts and more. Also, as of this recording, the Balls for Balls contest is still going on, so check the description below for links to that, as well as links to the storefront for the Balls for Balls contest. You can get some cool shirts and other things. And yeah, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you the next time you invade my shelf space.